News mornings at 7 a.m. starts right now.
We start the 7 o'clock hour with a live look outside right now. It is going to be another hot, dry day with temps in the high 90s. It is already in the 70s at 7 o'clock this morning, and we're going to be warming up. This comes as firefighters work to contain several wildfires. Families in Douglas County are back home after a close call with a wildfire south of Chatfield Reservoir. Thanks for joining us. I'm Corey Rhodes.
And I'm Jordan Chavez. Now, this is video of the firefighters there in Douglas County that were containing that fire yesterday. Crews are out there all night keeping an eye on the perimeter. 9 News reporter Courtney Yoon is joining us live. And Courtney, we know that firefighters are still out there this morning and they faced a lot of challenges on this.
Yes, that's right, Jordan and Corey. We've been seeing firefighters come through this area all morning long. You can see how burned and scorched the land is here by these train tracks. I'm joined with Public Information Officer with South Metro Fire Rescue. This is Brian Willey. Good morning, Brian.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Doing great. Tell us a little bit about some updates this morning. You're telling us that it's still at 130 acres, 90% contained.
Yeah, so last night, just after 7 o'clock, evacuations were lifted for the town of Louviers. We are at about 130 acres. With new mapping today, that number could rise or lower just a little bit here and there. We're at 90% containment, and we're looking to get to 100% containment today. And then just really working on hot spots and mopping up within that containment line. What you can see here was just one of the spot fires that happened. We had multiple large spot fires from Highlands Ranch Parkway on Highway 85 all the way down through into the town of Louviers. So that was about 6 to 7 miles of multiple different spot fires that were very large. And then our main seat of the fire was just south of us, and that's where the big containment, and that's where we're doing a lot of the work. Just after 8 o'clock, we'll have some new crews come in, multiple crews come in, start working on that area as well as air attack as needed.
Yeah, and I know you guys had a lot of people working here overnight. You said about 16 people keeping an eye on the perimeter, mopping up those hot spots like you were talking about.
Yeah, we had crews on scene last night, just making sure. We did have some flare-ups in the cottonwood trees and stuff. That was expected. Again, that was within the perimeter and the containment lines, so no problems there. We did have about 16 personnel on scene last night. At the height of the fire yesterday, we had about 140 personnel, mutual aid from 7 different agencies. We won't see that type of response today, but we will see a larger response today. And really what people are going to see, they will see some spot fires, and they will see smoke still today.
A lot of challenges with this fire, like you're saying, multiple fires started along these train tracks that you saw yesterday, and then a lot of brush in this area.
Yeah, the vegetation was 2 to 3 feet high, so really good fuels for this fire, and then quite a few downed cottonwood trees and dead cottonwood trees that really added to that fuel. And again, there were just so many different spot fires that as they were responding to the one at Highlands Ranch Parkway and Highway 85, then there was others being called in down south of us. And so it really did require such a large response.
Wow, well, thank you so much for the work that you guys continue to keep doing. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
All right, so South Metro Fire Rescue says they don't know what caused this fire yet, but they are investigating. Live in Douglas County, Courtney Yoon, 9 News.
All right, Courtney, thank you. And there are several other fires burning in Colorado. One of those includes the South Rim Fire. As of this morning, the South Rim Fire is burning uncontained in Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park near Montrose. It is at least 1,600 acres in size, which is about the size of Chatfield State Park. Black Canyon of the Gunnison is closed until further notice because of the fire. And the Sow Belly Fire has burned more than 2,200 acres across 3 different counties. The fire has spread to Mesa, Delta, and Montrose counties. Crews are working to secure the fire along the rim of the Escalante Canyon, but so far they have 0 containment. These fires caused Governor Jared Polis to sign a disaster declaration for fires spreading in the western part of the state. This will help free up more resources to help battle all these fires.
Let's bring in senior meteorologist Chris Bianchi now. And Chris, today's high temps won't help fire crews out there today.
No, it won't. Unfortunately, we are going to be talking about those toasty temperatures, as you said. It's also going to be a bit blustery for us in southwestern Colorado with 20 to 30 mile an hour winds through the day today. Unfortunately, that is not very good news. Could get some dry lightning out there as well, which you get lightning, you get wind, but you don't get a lot of rain, and that's part of the concern out in western Colorado today. 70 degrees for us in Denver right now. Those temperatures mostly on the warm side of average for our Monday morning with those 7:05 a.m. temperatures in the low 70s for us here in Denver. That's pretty impressively warm for this point of the morning. Mid-90s today, partly cloudy skies, 30% chance for storms between 2 and 7 p.m. And that main concern from any storms here in the Denver area will be gusty winds. 90s Eastern Plains, that's the main impact, the main weather story. It is the heat, 80s, 90s, and even some 100s for us west of the Continental Divide. Forecast will get up into the mid-90s for us early this afternoon, so a very hot day ahead for us. Those overall headlines, it's hot with those storms around today. Better chance, though, for storms on Wednesday and a notable cool down Wednesday and Thursday as well. I'll detail that for you in my full forecast. Brianna?
Chris, thank you so much. Right now, for those heading out the door taking I-70, right now we're getting a first look of that crash that I mentioned along I-70 heading eastbound near Havana. You can kind of see crews there on the left shoulder, so that express lane and that left lane partially blocked because of this crash. Now, it's unclear how many vehicles are involved, but we're seeing those delays along I-70 right now. So I do want to switch things over to our main maps, kind of show you where that crash is happening and those heavy delays that we're seeing at the moment. So this is going to be impacting your morning drive, especially if you're heading to Denver International Airport, because that's where we're seeing that crash along eastbound I-70 right near Havana. Again, that left lane and that express lane is partially blocked, so stick to that center lane, that right lane. Those peak times are clocking in at 14 miles per hour. Once that crash clears up along I-70, we'll keep you updated.
Today, opening statements are expected to begin in the trial of James Craig, the former dentist accused of killing his wife in 2023 by poisoning her. Craig was arrested in 2023 for the death of his wife, Angela. An autopsy showed she ingested lethal doses of cyanide and an ingredient in Visine. Craig is also charged with trying to solicit the murder of a witness in the case, along with 2 police officers. He faces life in prison if a jury convicts him.
The man who killed a Good Samaritan who was trying to break up a fight 3 years ago will spend 40 years in prison. Gervonnie Smith was convicted for the deadly shooting of Gary Ariano. Police say that Ariano was attempting to break up a fight between 2 teenage girls at La Alma Lincoln Park. They say that Smith, who was the boyfriend of one of the girls, pulled out a gun and shot Ariano, killing him.
John Elway has been officially cleared in the investigation into a golf cart accident in Southern California. The incident killed his longtime friend and agent Jeff Spurbeck. Back in April, Spurbeck died after falling off the golf cart and hitting his head. Elway was driving the golf cart. The Riverside County Sheriff's Office told our Broncos insider Mike Kliss that the investigation is officially over and they have determined nothing criminal happened.
NATO's new Secretary General Mark Rutte is in Washington this week to meet with President Trump as the U.S. rolls out a new plan to get weapons into Ukraine. Trump says that NATO allies will buy American-made weapons and pass them on, paying 100% of the cost. Lawmakers say that support for Ukraine is ramping up, with more weapons expected soon and talk of major sanctions on Russia's oil trade. Trump is also teasing a big announcement on Russia as pressure builds to get Putin to the negotiating table.
Now to a live look at the nation's capital. It is the start of Crypto Week in Washington, and lawmakers are diving into new rules for digital money. The House is taking up the so-called Genius Act, a bill that would set up guardrails for stable coins. That's a kind of crypto tied to the value of the dollar or gold. They were originally meant for a place for investors to park their funds, but now they're gaining popularity in digital payments. Crypto has seen a major comeback under President Trump's second term, but critics are raising eyebrows at the Trump family's connections to the industry.